Alright, boys and girls, we're back here on the 2286cc engine parts list. So far we've shown you the engine case, the CB case with the raised deck, and we've also shown the 86 flange crank from CB Performance. Most of the parts in this motor are going to be CB Performance, just they're one of the better companies right now. So this set of heads is not all out max effort heads, alright? These heads are, I'd say, probably like middle of the road as far as the performance value. But what they are is completely cheap. All right, this was like a $350 head, I think, when I bought it. Might be a little different today. They are as cast, so when you buy one, if you break this one for some reason, you know, if something damages the chamber, you lose a valve, whatever, you can go buy an exact copy of it. All right, it's nothing super specific, not like their CNC program's going to go away. This is what they're making. So these heads are casted from Autolinear from Brazil. They are casted exclusively for CB Performance. All right, they cast a Panchito 044 in it. I've seen some heads that have this milled off, so I'm sure there's going to be some knockoffs coming out of China. But what they've done is they've completely redesigned the casting. It has complete amount of cooling fins. All right, but here's the big deal. You can actually see through this casting. This is how it came out of the box. All right, you can see right through the exhaust port. This is the valve guide right here. It has actual cooling passages on the exhaust valve guide. All right, you can see through the intake passage there. You can see over here through those. There is nothing blocking these heads. This is out of the box. Now, most heads have casting flash in here and all in here, and you got to take a drill bit and drill all that. Don't have to do that with these. I opted for the CNC chambers. This is a 61cc. I think they have a 68cc chamber also. You can see where the cutter does and does not cut. Didn't cut right here because it didn't need to. All right. It's kind of a kidney bean shape chamber. But what they've done is they've basically casted in high flowing ports already from the factory here. All right. That's all as cast in there. Pretty good amount of valve guide is exposed, so this head's probably not going to be a 100,000 mile head, but that's not what we're going for anyway. All right, the casting is really smooth inside. That is as cast. That is not polished, if anything, or anything like that. The exhaust guide side is just as good. It already has everything you want done to it. The only thing I would say is maybe the short side radius over on this side could use a little cleanup. All right, as always, right where they mill in for the valve guide, for the valve seat, is a little ridge there, but nothing crazy. These heads are supposed to flow 171 cubic foot a minute on the intakes. If you go look at CB Performance's website and on YouTube, they're making 2.5 to 2 liters. 2.4 and 2.2 liter motors make about 170 on these heads with the CNC chambers. Motors that don't have the CNC chamber seem to make in the 150 range, which is really good for a out-of-the-box head. All right. So the reason I chose these over something like the wedge ports or anything else is this is a driver. All right. So we want all the cooling fins, unlike a comp eliminator or a street eliminator that don't have so many cooling fins. I wanted non-welded flanges for the carburetors because I want them to seal. Once you start welding on here, usually they now the 044s are filled here, but the manifolds, you know, engine tins are not going to have to be modified to put these manifolds in there. That's another big deal because once you go with the big thick flange, you have to modify the engine tins. All right, so this will bolt together pretty much almost like a stocker. I like that the casting was super clean. It has all the passageways in it. I like that it is cheap. Comes with the options. You can get titanium retainers. You can get the 650 valve springs. You can get single springs. You can basically tailor this head to what you want. If you want to make like a 200 horse motor aspirated, this head is not going to do it for you. This is, like I say, 150 horse out of the box probably. you know, in that range. With the CNC chambers, they seem to be making about 170. All right, your results will vary. But for the price, $700 for a set of heads with the CNC chambers, you can't beat it. All right, I don't think there's any other head out there that could beat this. So they're made in Brazil. They do have the studs. It's just in the box. All the studs are loose. All right. And with any part, I'd say disassemble it and clean it. Take the valve springs out, clean it. Make sure there's nothing stuck underneath it. As always, you are the one that's going to assemble it, not the box. All right. So if there's something wrong, you need to find it. But for the power per dollar, this is a pretty good setup. All right. Our setup is going to be slightly mild, but there's a reason for that. We will talk about what we're going to do to make it really wild. So anyways, boys and girls, this video is rambling on. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Get out there and get your projects done. And if you're looking at a Panchito 044, I'd say for the price, this is a really good deal. I don't know of any other head right now that has as clean of a casting as this one. All right. And most of the Volkswagen stuff is dead, gone. You know, you're not probably going to find a 040 head and even a 043. The Chinese heads, some of them are good, but I've not seen anything that's come with this good of casting where there's zero casting flash in this thing. So get out there, get your projects done, and we will look at some more parts before we start assembly. So until then, see you later.